a.m. in the night and goes up to 4 a.m. in the morning in many villages. So I've been working all around the country, different audiences, different knowledge levels. So right now I have the future in front. So let's talk a little bit about science. Who is Copernicus? Does anyone know Copernicus?
He was a person who really from geometry to philosophy.
Oh, fantastic. Who is Galileo? Not always you, someone else.
Isn't the telescope? Telescope. Also known as the father of physics and has invented telescope and also has worked in the Newton's philosophy.
Yeah, he's the one who held the heliocentric view and tried to provide the evidence, so-called evidence through the telescope. But then what happened to both of these guys? Do you know that?
They were given punishment.
Yeah, they were haunted. They were they were forced to say heliocentric view is not right. The Catholic Church almost killed them. Do you know who is the real one who told Earth rotates around Sun first?
Aryabhatta.
Aryabhatta. So even now when you Google heliocentric means Copernicus comes, Galileo comes, not Aryabhatta. Though Indians have said this great truth long ago. So the establishment now has this bias. The so-called Western fellows, whatever they say is science, and whatever before is voodoo magic. This is the problem with all the world right now. This that means the scientific attitude should not be covered with the
Bias.
bias. So what is science? Beyond bias. Beyond bias. That means you should be really out of the box thinking should be there at any given point of time. That is science. So now the same problem exists now with the biological sciences because out and out it is business. There's no science in this biological so-called scientific establishment. Because in the name of green revolution, they have spun the macronutrient carbohydrate. In the name of white revolution, they said fat, milk, this. In the name of pink revolution, now they are spinning about protein. And in the name of blue revolution, they are going to spin the so-called tadrupi. Tadrupi means carbon copy fish. They want to. So these are all industrialized food and industrialized nutritional concepts. And they have forgotten the micronutrients altogether. And they say we'll do supplement business, calcium tablet, this tablet, that tablet. And this is the sad story of present modern biological sciences. So no one to question. So I said, what nonsense are we doing here? So I'm not claiming that I'm Galileo or I'm Aryabhatta or Copernicus because they were fellows, poor fellows were haunted. I'm not haunted. I've been talking the way I'm talking. Yeah. So that much guarantee I have. It is that glucose release and flood-like manner we pump in when we eat rice, wheat, sugar. But the whole world, in the name of these revolutions, is producing tons. You know how much sugar we produce? India alone produces more than 100 lakh tons. I may be behind from the numbers. Much more. So the whole world produces this humongous amount of tons and tons of sugar, and we don't need a milligram of it. We don't need a milligram of it. It's because they want to use it for liquor in the name of sugar. And you know how much sugar people are eating? Such the most unscientific way of doing things. So what are all these scientists doing? Not informing the public. What are all these experts talking? Biochemical sequence of our digestion produces glucose as the end product. And here we are pumping in tons and tons into our mouths every day in the form of sugar, which just in 2 minutes becomes glucose. That means the penultimate product we are sending as a raw into our mouths. Can there be more unscientificness than this on this planet? And to produce this stupid sugar, we have managed to destroy the rivers, the water bodies, because each kilo of sugar requires 28,000 liters of water to produce. So we have topsy-turvy the mountains, made mining, built dams, and then now poor Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are fighting. Hey, it's our water. For what? To produce liquor and to produce sugar. All below the dams, all the agricultural lands are occupied by sugarcane or rice wheat. And we don't need all of these three because they are all producing homeostasis of the blood is disturbed. So on what scientific principles? So there is no end-to-end coordination. We don't need these stupid things, but that's what is produced all around the world. So this is what I mean by business. तो कोई साइंटिस्ट नहीं है इस धरती पे ये बताने के. And that's what I've been trying to communicate to the whole human consciousness for the last 30 years. That we are doing something fundamentally wrong. As I humbly again request, I'm not saying that it is like heliocentric or centric, but this is, according to me, more important because we are running these revolutions here in our tummy in the name of green revolution, white revolution, pink revolution, blue revolution. We are spinning revolutions. And then we have forgotten the evergreen revolution, that is millets. They have been there, 90% of the land occupied by this wonderful C4 grasses. So all these so-called business-based revolutions have to give away to the wonderful, sustainable, evergreen revolution, that is millet. In millets have all these drawbacks of unscientific characters wiped out because of their fiber content, which we have to actually talk more about. And unluckily, yesterday I saw this is like a moderation, that they have anti-nutrients, they have goitrogenous, they have thyroid problem. These are all again the so-called establishment giving a wrong spin. Anti-nutrients are all over the world. Any plant material has nutrients and anti-nutrients. There's nothing. Rice, wheat, everything is the same. But no one talked about rice, wheat, and nutrients. See, this is what I mean by not being scientific. So the anti-nutrients of millets is such an easy thing. Just soak it. It removes that. And as well as soaking gives the most important aspect for the fiber to be hydrated, which then becomes easy to be cooked and palatable, very tasty. All these wonderful things follow. So soaking is only one issue that everyone trying to put it across. This is again the problem of the so-called experts trying to find fault with the real food. So the so-called nutritionists bringing the word anti-nutrition is absolutely unscientific. Second, goitrogenous thyroid problem. This is actually, the story is very simple. One of the English doctors went to visit Africa in a place where they were eating a millet called phony millet in near Kenya region. And they happened to find almost 13 to 40 women in that village having goiter. Goiter is not connected to thyroid. It is an extra mass grown around the gland of thyroid. So these fellows just went there, asked them, "What do you eat?" The women said, "Phony millet." As if they eat only phony millet. They were eating meat, they were eating, drinking, all these things. So it's not the millet which is causing goitrous. But this fellow came back because he's an English doctor. He simply wrote an article in the Lancet or some British medical journal. It is very well accepted because it is written by an MBBS MD doctor. He visited Africa and he found that his goiter, all this. And what did he do? He just asked one question: "What did you eat?" That was at 40 million. That's it. It became a paper. And then that keeps rounding all around the globe, trots. And then everyone started saying millets are quite rich. Fantastic. And all of a sudden, when millets are getting popularized in India, this article goes. And then all the scientists start putting negative things. Because you are not doing research. You are not even digging into the background of what you are talking. So that's how millets. See, millet is different from millets. Phony millet, tofu, there is another millet. So there are more than, as I told you, if you dig back 200 millets on this planet, they have disappeared. Now, luckily, we have in India the original seeds and varieties of more than 12 or 15 millets left yet, because people like me have come back from 91. We have been running around telling people, going to tribals, trying to preserve this. And I myself individually have distributed 5 minor millets all over India. Each and every state I have gone, tried to meet the farmers. This has been what has been going for 30 years. So it is this going against the tide. The scientific principles have. So my whole story has to be an example for young boys and girls. Don't fall into the groove. Scientists should be free, including the available data and knowledge, because every bit of it has to be again and again questioned, again and again questioned. So that's what I did for the last 30 years when I questioned rice, wheat, sugar should not have been produced on this planet the way it's a monoculture. At the cost of diversified food systems, we have all bought into this monoculture of the food corporate. So the corporatization of food is the culprit. Food should have been diversified. Food should have been locally identified. It's such a wonderful, actually, Khader is with a lot of respect, I say, he says that colorful. He is trying to put symbolically. It's not just 7 colors. I mean, it should be as diversified as a rainbow. That's what he always tries to communicate that wonderful diversity. And that should be the scientific temper of all of us. And we should have inculcated by now in the kids. And that's what I'm trying to communicate, that the diversity of the biological systems should be the basic principle of science in itself. So our activities, our actions, our thought processes should be as diverse as the biodiversity.